we've been told our whole lives that wrinkle creams are the easiest way to look younger. Well, according to one doctor, that is old news. Dr. John Lakey is a world-renowned Beverly Hills beauty expert, and he says that most wrinkle fixes on the market are just glorified moisturizers. Facts. That is facts. He said they hardly make a dent on your appearance, and some can even be harmful to your skin. So recently, Dr. Lakey has focused his attention away from the mainstream cosmetic procedures so that he can pursue a revolutionary anti-aging breakthrough. Lakey told reporters, "It's almost like Photoshop for your face. You may even be mad after seeing how easy it is to visibly erase your wrinkles from view." His personal clients have dubbed his new do-it-yourself technique the age rewinder method because it can take years or even decades off your appearance in under 2 minutes. In light of this amazing breakthrough, Dr. Lakey has released a step-by-step video to the public, free and uninterrupted, where he outlines exactly how to use this simple solution from home. Dr. Lakey commented, "If this helps even one person look younger or feel more confident, I'll be thrilled knowing I helped." Isn't that sweet? The video's gone viral. At first, it was shared by users on Facebook, but now it's racked up over 2,300,000 views and counting. So the comments and feedback are outstanding, with thousands of women reporting they look decades younger. One viewer commented, "Best results of anything I've used. I can't believe how well this works. I'll never stop using this. I don't understand how it works, but the results are great. Thank you." So you can find out more about this yourself right now. Go to bhmd1.com/speaks, or you can just click on the link in the description box below. That's bhmd1.com/speaks. Now, there's one thing Dr. Lakey does ask from his viewers. He says, if watching this video helps you look and feel younger than you have in years, then please share this video with your friends and loved ones. Together, we have the power to help as many women reclaim a youthful look as possible. So go watch the video at bhmd1.com/speaks right now, or just click on the link in the description box below. Dorit and Sutton actually have a lot in common, but the things they have in common would make it so that they'd never get along. For example, they both don't really have a sense of humor about themselves. So they take everything they personally do very seriously. So there's no teasing, no joking, none of that. And this isn't just the two of them. Like Kyle is a little like this too. But both Sutton and Dorit also will say something that is jabby or just straight up rude, and then be surprised when they get a response. And they'll be like, "Oh, what?" Shocked. Like they both fight the exact same way, and therefore they're never going to be friends. Dorit and Sutton. Absolutely nothing will ever work out for them to come together. That's why it seemed so odd when Sutton was trying to have those moments with Dorit on the boat and whenever being like, "I'm there for you if you need anything." I'm like, I don't feel that just doesn't even look right. Dorit reaching out to Sutton, that didn't, or Sutton reaching out to Dorit, that wouldn't happen. But okay, so yes, we are going to be discussing this episode. There was a lot going on in this episode, a lot of moving parts. So I am recording this quite early in the morning because I'm going to go out of town for the night and I need to take off by like 9:15. I'm pushing it. And so that's hence the sunglasses. Don't I look like I'm going on vacation for those who are watching? I look like I'm getting ready to go on a little tropical getaway. But I wanted to get this done so that I could get this up to you. Anywho's, let's get into it. All right, I got a bone to pick, actually, with the way they've structured this, the way they told the story of Sutton and Reba and Augusta and all that. I think it would have been a lot more impactful if they had given us the full wrap up. Like Sutton has a conversation, they leave the next day, Reba says, "I love you" again. There's this big hug, kumbaya, sweet moment. Thank you. We didn't need to start this episode with them still in Augusta and then get this little moment again. Because I was like, look, I don't know. I just feel like they kind of set Reba up to get trolled for a week. Because I don't know if you saw, Sutton responded to Tamra on 2Ts. Tamra had said that Reba was the villain. I didn't see the clip or hear the clip or anything, so all I saw was the headline. Sutton responds to Tamra calling Reba the villain. But they kind of set Reba up for that. Like they kind of, I saw the tenderness of Reba, and some of us did. I know a lot of you were like, no, I thought I didn't have the worst view of Reba either. But it's like they wanted us to have this really shitty view of her. And so when you leave something till the next week, it's an entire week of content and comments and opinions. It just felt like they could have let the audience know that Reba comes around and her and Sutton have this great moment, and we should have got all of that so that they would have kept the fans at bay. I think they kind of dragged it on. I think it went 3 episodes actually. The Augusta trip. It was getting there, that was part of an episode, and then being there, and then one more little goodbye scene the next day. Wrap it up, baby. That's how it could have worked. And I think I said this last week. I still think that Reba's the one who got more of the. I think she got through to Sutton. Do you remember when they had that little dinner after Sutton and or it wasn't a dinner, it was the crab cakes. When they had the talk after Reba and Sutton had the talk, Reba said something because Sutton was like doing a toast. Reba says something like, and being a better friend or being a friend or something. I think I could spot that Reba was trying to say, like, woman to woman now. Like, I'm not understand where I'm coming from. She keeps trying to tell her too, right? She's like, my post World War II upbringing. I mean, hi, in the South, my God. Like, I think she's been sort of hoping Sutton would look at her like another person as opposed to just this bad guy because she doesn't have the same sorrow over this illusion that Sutton has of her dad. I think that's the conclusion now. It's like, ooh, I think Reba's holding on to something for Sutton and doesn't want Sutton to know about the dad, right? So I think for Reba, having Sutton I think having Sutton be there with her friends, other women, other adults, like, don't get me wrong, I almost think Kyle helped Reba too, because Kyle started talking to Reba like a woman, like that's how Reba said, I'm not a nurturer, because Sutton or Kyle was just chatting with her about like woman to woman, getting to know her, as opposed to every single thing Reba doing was like, oh, what is that about? Oh, sorry, because that's how Sutton's always been approaching it. I did get a little confused. What Reba was out here for Sutton's opening, the store opening. And then when Sutton was like, I know you don't like to fly, or I know you don't like to travel. And when Reba said, oh, no, I'd come out there. Sutton was like, oh, wow, thanks. I'm so shocked. I was like, but wasn't she out there? Didn't she come out for the store opening? I mean, right away, Reba started being difficult. She's like, I'm not sleeping in that room with the aquarium. I can't sleep in there. Get her a hotel. Okay, get her a nice hotel. Although Reba might be one of those people who doesn't like to stay in hotels. I love a hotel. Some people I know they prefer to stay with someone they know, like in a house. I'm like, give me my own space. But anyway, I was like, Reba just came out to your store opening. I thought, isn't it not that weird? I think Reba was getting a really bad rap, and I feel oddly protective of her, and I don't know why. Why am I being oddly protective of her? Regardless, it worked out. Sutton got what she wanted out of the trip, and Kyle and Garcelle and Sutton are bonded over this trip. So mission accomplished. All right. More of Bose and this baby situation. I'm probably just being overly cautious because we've seen it all and nothing will surprise us anymore. But I am a little concerned about this Keeley guy. And Bose herself has said that she kind of loses herself and just the logic part of her brain goes away and the romance takes over. And she says in the after show, Bose, that Keeley is really a part of the the medical side of things, like going to the doctor's appointments and caring about all that. But he just didn't seem that way at all when they were talking. I know everything changes. It's not just the camera is not all that matters. I'm overly cautious about him, maybe just on Bose's behalf. Do I want her to be happy? And that's all. But I'm just like, I don't know. The way he talked about, the way he said, there's not a timeline, is there? And she was like, what are you saying? Like, I'm 47. And he's like, yeah, I want like 1 or 3 kids. At any point, are you going to explain how you expect her to do that? No. But again, it's on camera. And maybe these conversations are better suited for off camera. And maybe he is. But when Bose herself says that she will like, basically like run the marathon for them just because she dated a con artist. Remember, she talked about that. So I'm going to stay wary just for her. It's a lot for her to put herself through. That's why I'm so concerned. This is a lot. I don't know if you guys watched Dubai, but it's like Caroline on Dubai, her very young man was like not getting that Caroline could die if she got pregnant because of conditions she had dealt with in previous pregnancies. And he just didn't get it. He's like, okay, well, he was saying some wild stuff. He was saying some really wild stuff. But this guy, I'm just a little cautious. It's a lot for Bose to go through. Anyway, now let's get to the big one. Oh, I forgot to say, we found out that Bose lost a baby at like 6.5 months. So she was rushed to the hospital and forced to give birth, and the baby didn't make it. So, oof. So like, when you have that history, that's sort of why I was so up in arms about this. I was okay. So, but in the after show, she claims that he is right there with her, and I'm going to believe her, but I'm still going to be side eyeing. Not like it matters. What does it matter? She doesn't know me. All right, now Dorit's house. Sutton arrives first, and clearly she's talking to production while she sits there complaining about how she clearly doesn't want to be there. Now, here's one of my peeves about when cast members go to an event that they're invited to, but they don't really like the host. Don't go if you don't want to go. And if you're going to be there and be like mad and mean the whole time. Like Naomi did this on Southern Charm. The season she came back, she went to Craig's Sewing Down South event and was just like all bitchy and pissed off. And I was like, well, don't go, like, just don't bother going then, because it makes you look bad when you do that. You didn't have to go. You didn't have to accept the invitation. You didn't even invite Dorit to Augusta. So it's like, well, you could have just been like, I'm not going, period. But then when you show up and when Sutton in her confessional's like, I come in American peace. No, you don't. You don't want to be there. You're wanting everyone to know you don't want to be there. And she has been rude to Dorit. She has. Like, I'm not going back and talking about everything from the past because can we really do that? But if you want to do that, Sutton, why don't you have a sit down conversation? If you still need that to be resolved for you to move on and to be friends with Dorit, then maybe like have a sit down and say, I want to talk about all these things we've never resolved because there were a lot. And I feel like you weren't sorry. And that's not cool. And if Dorit has because here's the other problem though. Dorit has a comprehension issue. She really does. From day one, she's like, she'll just misunderstand a whole point, but she will respond like she does understand the point and that she does have a grasp on the point, but it's so off that you're like, what? And she's like, don't act like you don't know what I'm talking about. And you're like, but that's not even the point of this. So I get that if maybe Sutton tried to do that with Dorit, maybe it wouldn't go so well, okay, but Kyle comes in. Kyle loves that Dorit has these photos of PK out so she can make fun of her as if she doesn't have photos of Mo all over the house still. When Dorit talked about it in the after show, she's like, well, I have to kind of keep it up for the kids. I was like, oh, yeah, you're pretending still. So, yeah, if you suddenly took all the photos down, and Dorit's like, I always come in through the garage. Like, I don't ever come in through the front door, so I don't see it. But yeah, I'm sure the kids would notice if she was putting away photos of him. But I think Kyle was just excited to be like, see, I'm not as bad. See, like, what is this? Like an anniversary party? Like, is this right? Am I right? Am I right, guys? No one else really cared that much. But Kyle's showing like everyone who walks in. But did you see these photos here at the table? Not as bad as me, right? Like, come on. No, okay. So Dorit comes down. And Kyle starts giving her hell over the photos. And then Sutton's like, oh, all right, I'll just go sit back down over here like I've been doing. I'm glad I could come. Can I leave now? Okay. Yeah, you can. You totally can. But like, don't come in with an attitude. And then, okay. So also then Dorit invites Sutton. And I guess this is like TV. This is like TV stuff. But Dorit invites Sutton knowing she's mad at Sutton too. Because that interrupting thing with the Jagger story, that was just rude. It wasn't just like she interrupted and then was like, oh, sorry, I'm just getting nervous. No, she kind of kept making fun of Dorit. She was like, oh, God, longest walk ever. You guys are still talking on that walk? Oh, my God, okay. And then she's like looking at Erica like, this lady, right? Meanwhile, Erica's like, no, we want to be supportive, Sutton. She's like, whatever. So Sutton was rude about it. And Sutton always forgets the stuff that she does. You know, like when she said, you're angry with your life. Okay. When she said that, and they were like, whoa, everyone thought that was pretty harsh. And then later when Bose was like, when you said that thing, you're angry with your life or whatever, you weaponized it. She's like, is Dorit telling Bose things to make her feel a certain way? No, you just did that thing. And then Bose responded. So Dorit is mad at Sutton already, but isn't saying that. So instead, what Dorit does in her attempt at comedy is she then takes Sutton's mini Kelly, which is gorgeous, and it looks great with her outfit. And she goes, that's so kind of you. And Sutton doesn't know what to do because Sutton's not in a comfortable enough space to be joking with Dorit. And Dorit kind of shouldn't be in a comfortable place to be joking with Sutton either. Typically, if you're not happy with someone, the teasing and whatnot and the jokes, it's like know your audience, like feel out the crowd. Dorit definitely can't read a room. Honestly, neither can Sutton. Another thing they have in common. Sutton goes, she always tries to take my things. And Dorit goes, well, I think you owe it to me. But her face, like, this is the thing. This could have been funny if they were in a better place and Dorit executed it better. But I was even left like, is she kidding? I don't know. And then Sutton goes, I certainly do not. Yes, you most certainly do. No, I'm good. No, you're not. I mean, I would have needed clarity. I would have been like, this is a joke. No, I don't. So I understood Kyle getting uncomfortable, and Sutton actually has the funniest look on her face because she's smiling, but then she starts to make I'm confused. What is this? It was really weird. But then Dorit's confessional. Honestly, I'd be prepared to forget about most things that Sutton has said or done to me if she would just give me this handbag. But that bitch has got a tight-ass grip. Well, it's her bag. Yeah, it was just none of it. This is the thing. Not everyone has a sense of humor. Dorit has only ever been funny to me when she's accidentally done something funny. Anytime Dorit has attempted to like execute a joke, it's like she doesn't understand like timing, cadence, none of that. It's over her head. And she has no sense of humor about herself. So when she's teasing, it's like it's just doesn't work. One might say that quite a lot has happened already this year, and that would be an understatement. My tactic has been to compartmentalize and avoid at all costs. However, that's not going so well. I can feel a meltdown brewing. I know what I need to do, though. It's obvious. It's right in front of me. I need a new therapist. I need to get back into regular therapy. But then the thought of looking for a therapist sounds so daunting and awful. And then I go, never mind, I don't care anymore. And then I remember, oh no, I'm still about to have a meltdown. Well, just in the nick of time, along comes Rula. Rula partners with a network of over 10,000 therapists and psychiatrists all over the country. Rula takes most major insurance plans, and the average copay is only $15 per session. Rula believes in end-to-end care, which I'd never even heard of. That means they stay with you every step of the way on your mental health journey, from finding the right therapist to helping you schedule your appointments, and then they monitor your progress. And most online therapy platforms focus on connecting clients with licensed therapists, but they fall short when it comes to medication management, right? Rula has a wide range of licensed professionals, including psychiatrists, who can help you get the care you need. Rula is actually the place to go, even if you're not sure exactly what you need in the mental health care world. Thousands have already trusted Rula to support them on their journey toward improved mental health and overall well-being. Head on over to rula.com/shespeaks to get started today. After you sign up, they'll ask how you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them our show sent you. Go to rula.com/shespeaks and take the first step towards better mental health today. You deserve quality care from someone who cares. But then Garcelle arrives and then they sit. Oh, and then Garcelle asks Sutton, what are you drinking? The watermelon something. Oh, there's alcohol in it. You're asking Sutton what she's drinking? And you ask if there's alcohol in it? Now you see, again, Dorit, because you brought this up last season, you might not want to joke about it because you never resolved it. And even they showed that clip from the reunion where Andy was like, no, Dorit goes, I don't think we were not insinuating that Sutton had a drinking problem. Or actually, no, she asked, like, are you asking, was I insinuating? I don't know if Sutton has a drinking problem. So, like, Dorit, it's still very much something that you're poking at. You haven't at least told Sutton, I don't think you have a drinking problem. Now, but Sutton also does not find it funny at all. But I think Sutton could lean into it a little more. By now, like we all see, we're watching this show. Sutton does appear to be drunk sometimes, but not like, I wouldn't put her, like when Erica was getting drunk and rowdy. Very different. And so Dorit's really trying to push this alcohol thing still, but then pretends she's not. Like, oh, what? So I know that Sutton shouldn't have called her a bitch. I get it. But she said, you're such a bitch. Like, that was a bitchy thing to say. And I wish Dorit would stand, say it with their whole chest, and say, oh, Sutton, I think you have a drinking problem. Because if that's not what you're saying, it sounds like that's what you're saying, and she's going to respond accordingly. But you don't get to go, Dorit, you don't get to go, oh, what? I mean, she just called me a bitch for no reason. Because she responded to you. Like, you didn't need to make that joke. Like, you went out of your way to make that joke. You're asking if it has alcohol in it, and it's Sutton? Well, okay. Like, so she responds, and then Sutton was looking for a reason to leave. And this kind of irritates me, this part about, now I'm going to go to Sutton and why Sutton isn't my favorite here, because I know you don't want to be here because you just got done being in Augusta, but you excluded the cast, and I get it. Fine. You had your reasons for that. But now now you're here, and now you're interacting with the whole cast, and you don't get to just leave. You don't get to just walk out, because if that's what she's going to do, okay? And I get it. I'm sure Sutton got all kinds of hell because that's what happens, whatever. But okay, welcome to being on the show. They all have to. And you just gave Kyle hell for leaving. So you need to stay. And you need to just say, Dorit, you're such a bitch. And if she says, don't call me a bitch, okay, well, then don't make fun of my alcohol, or don't tease me about the booze, and stay. Stay. Know that you don't have a drinking problem. But I do think she was looking for an excuse to leave. And again, she gets coddled. Like she just got done being coddled throughout her entire Augusta trip. And now she's going to get coddled to not leave this party because of what she went through on her Augusta trip. It's always something with Sutton. Dorit picked the fight for sure. And now she's like, I was just making a joke. Okay, we'll get to you in a second. But you also, Sutton, like you joke and do things like that too sometimes about other people. And I just think she should have stayed. I really do. She could have stayed. It could have been a scene. They could have had a conversation. I don't know. But because she doesn't want to engage, and it's like Sutton has decided that she's only going to film scenes with certain people that she wants to. But then, okay, so then I loved Garcelle ordering a watermelon drink on the fly before she follows out to Sutton. She's like, I'm going to need this cocktail. Let me get that watermelon thing coming up right now. Thank you. But excuse me, Garcelle goes, it was a bad joke. She's not great at jokes, which is true. Oh, but Sutton's like, she's not joking because Sutton can't take anything not overly personal. Like that's, if you talk about her, you don't joke about her. I hate agreeing with Kyle, but when Kyle not made fun of, but called out Sutton for not having a storyline. Oh, what was your storyline? Buying a horse? And then Sutton goes, do not talk. And then Kyle goes, oh, we can't talk about your horse now either. Everything's off limits for Sutton. And I hate agreeing with Kyle, but it's kind of true. Okay. Bose walks in and she had no idea, but of all the things to say, excuse me, bitches. Garcelle goes, that's not the word we're going to start with today because it just started a bunch of shit. And then Bose is like, you just started a bunch of shit? No. Well, I'm confused. Okay. They're literally sitting with Sutton. Sutton's hiding. She's not even willing to say hi to Bose because of that joke that Dorit made. I can't even. I'm just such a live wire. I can't even go over there. Once again, this always happens, by the way. It's all like last season, Kyle and Garcelle followed out Sutton and took care of Sutton. Like this is what happens all the time. I realized I miss Crystal. I think Crystal would have been interesting to have here. Or maybe not. That just dawned on me because I was thinking about last season. I wish Kyle would say to Sutton what she says in her confessional. I wish she would say it in the scene. Because she's like, it's not lost on me that Sutton gave me all kinds of hell for leaving and now she's leaving. Say that. Why would you not say that? It would be so interesting. You know, you just gave me hell for leaving and now I'm going to give you hell for leaving. Stay, sit with it. We don't think you have a drinking problem. But instead, no way. She doesn't say it at all. And then she like goes over to Dorit, like, let me go talk to her. And she goes, so Sutton's not going to stay without some encouragement from you. I don't know if you even want to do that for her. And Dorit is like, she is definitely wild for sure. She goes, it sounds like the two of you more than anyone are going to be able to help get her to stay. Certainly not going to be me. She called me a bitch in my own home. And then she walks off. There's a sisterhood. Remind her of that. What the fuck? And then in Dorit's confessional, though, she goes, why are you making such a huge deal over a joke? Well, first she goes, she called me a bitch in my own home. I should be kicking her out. Okay, you're leaving out the part. But then she goes, why are you making such a huge deal over a joke? Unless, of course. And then she milks this line. There's something very big underneath the surface. What? What's so big? Your husband is currently dealing with his own addiction, his own issues to alcohol. You've already called him a full-blown alcoholic. This woman does not understand how to deal with someone with a drinking problem. I don't think Sutton has a drinking problem. I don't. But I don't see her all the time, so I don't know what they see that I don't see. But it doesn't appear that way. But Dorit already coming in calling her husband a full-blown alcoholic and him not being on board with that, by the way. And I don't give a shit about PK, but it wasn't appropriate language to discuss with other people without him there. It just wasn't. Like, that's just kind of basic understanding of how to deal with it. And so now she's acting like this joke. Why is she getting so upset about this joke? Unless there's something very big underneath the surface. What is the accusation? The only other accusation that you're making is that she's an alcoholic, like PK. You got to learn some sensitivity here, Dorit. I'm telling you. But I really don't think Sutton has a drinking problem. And I think Dorit's being fucked up here. It's like, you're still doing this? So now, at this point, Erica's arrived and now Kathy's arriving, and they're all just staying at the front with Sutton. And Garcelle is holding Sutton's hand at this point. It was one fucking joke. I can't. Now I'm getting annoyed that it's this much of a thing. But I guess she's just waiting to leave or something. But Bose, Bose comes up and she doesn't know the other side, yet she is scolding these people, and it is a little odd. However, as Garcelle is holding Sutton's hand, she goes, "Stop being Dorit's mouthpiece," or whatever she calls her, or spokesperson. And I'm like, oh, Garcelle, you're basically doing that. Like, you're both battling to be the spokesperson for Bose for Dorit and Garcelle for Sutton. It wasn't a great look. And Bose is like, it looks rude that you're all just sitting at the front, not involving yourself in the party. It does look a little bit rude, but Erica also doesn't know what's going on. Kathy just got there. It's pulling focus from the party, I guess. But I thought her approach wasn't going to get anywhere. Her approach was just like angry and irritated, and they don't know exactly why. Well, then Dorit proceeds to go out, and Eric is eating her once a year kosher hot dog, which won't shut up about. I'm so tired of hearing them say that. My once a year kosher hot dog. Like, what the fuck? Have it multiple times a year. Who cares? It's a hot dog. It doesn't matter. But Dorit kind of takes the bitch moment to another level, because she's like, don't be a bitch. Don't be a vile human. Don't be a douche. Okay, Dorit, we get it. Dorit's unhinged, okay? She's not doing well. Look at her house. When I was shocked she took Kyle up there, or not Kyle, the cameras. I was like, she's letting us see this? Damn, we'll get to that in a second. Okay, so then Garcelle comes out and she goes, she left, and Erica goes, why? Erica, you know why? Because she didn't feel welcome here. And then Dorit just not getting it again. How am I supposed to feel in my own home that she called me a bitch? Yes, it was out of line. And I agree with Garcelle. Like, you led the charge with the there's vodka in her drink thing, you know? And then Bose chimes in and goes, but does that equal like calling her a bitch in her house? Like, somebody walks in my house, calls me a bitch. Those are fighting words. Okay, well, they're fighting. You don't know, like, that's where it's different here. Because I'm like, you don't even know what has happened in this group, and to know why that joke wouldn't. So now, Bose, you got to get both sides. That's sort of like kind of corporate 101 too. Like, you should be listening to the other side. You're not being very HR friendly right now, because Dorit's made jokes about the drinking. And so therefore, or not made jokes, sorry, brought it up. She didn't even make jokes. It was like, Sutton's a drinker. I wouldn't be surprised if she put vodka in her coffee in the morning. You know, like, she was saying shit like that. So she didn't just make a joke. And you also didn't see the weird Minnie Kelly incident where we thought she was going to steal it. It was very confusing. So it's like, you're coming in so hot. But, you know. So Bose goes, I think it's great you wanted to be there to support her. But again, in the spirit of sisterhood, can we all rally around Dorit? And then Garcelle, it was too easy. She's like, where's the spirit of sisterhood when you came out and called us rude? And Bose goes, that's actually being a sister. That's actually coming in and telling you to check yourself. Whoa. Okay. All right. And then Garcelle's like, I feel like you're telling us what to do about the Dorit thing, but you don't know the whole situation. And then Bose is like, let me put this in relative terms. I am calling things as I see them. And okay, but that's okay. There is a history, though. And you kind of do, like, you do just need to know that. You know, it's if one person says something and another person says the same thing, If it depends on who those people are in relation to you, and that's going to affect you different. So it's like, you know, you are one. And so when Garcelle says it seems like you're one-sided, and she's like, no, I'm not. You are a little, because you maybe should watch the show, maybe watch a couple seasons just to understand where the tension is, because I don't like to go back and dwell on the past, because I do like that about housewives and cast members. They can just move it on. They don't need to keep harping back. But there's value to know what happened. So it would help you to know a little bit of that. For all of my fellow bad feet girlies, I don't mean we have ugly feet. I mean, we have the feet that don't like shoes, the feet that find every type of shoe uncomfortable. We are the girlies who never believe anybody when they say they have found a comfortable shoe, because we've tried them all. Well, I am here to tell you that Bionic shoes made me have hope. Last week, I had just received one of the 2 pairs of shoes that I was blessed with from the brand. Can't thank them enough. The Uptown Willa I got last week. It's like part sneaker, part moccasin, kinda. Really streamlined, but the leather is so soft. I don't know how the hell they do that, but it's all about the sole of the shoe. Bionic's exclusive VioMotion technology is the business. They revolutionized medical orthotics. They are committed to engineering significantly better performing shoes that strengthen your natural movement while aligning and balancing you feet first. This week, I got the Uptown Loafer, which is like part loafer, part sneaker. Same technology. But the thing is, these shoes are sleek and chic. You're not going to be obviously wearing orthopedic shoes at all. No one would know that that was the purpose of the shoes. They're just cute, but so comfortable. If I was still working in the restaurant business, these are the only shoes I would own. My feet, and honestly, my entire body would probably be better off if I had been wearing these shoes when I was still in the restaurant business. Because my feet are wrecked, my knees, my ankles. Get the right shoe, it fixes all of that. So use code SHESPEAKS at checkout for 15% off your entire order at bionicshoes.com. When you log into your account, one-time use only. Bionic shoes, wearable well-being for your feet. If you have any kind of e-commerce business, why are you not using Shopify? We use Shopify for our merch store. I have the best time going through, changing colors, playing with the templates. That's the awesome thing about Shopify. You don't have to know coding or website development. They've got these cool templates that you can use. And if you get tripped up, Shopify's support has been a lifesaver, and they've never once made me feel stupid for asking very, very stupid questions. Shopify has the #1 checkout on the planet, Shop Pay. At this point, it's a not-so-secret secret. This boosts conversions up to 50%. If you're growing your business, your e-commerce platform needs to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling on the web, in your store, in their feed, everywhere in between. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/shespeaks, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/shespeaks to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/shespeaks. Anyway, then though, Garcelle, I don't really understand why she does this here. But she goes, did you not say that she hasn't been welcoming to you? And points to Kyle and sets this whole moment up, which I don't think that Bose ever even said that to Garcelle. I think that Garcelle must have heard that from someone, unless I'm forgetting something. But I also thought interesting, Garcelle, because you had the same complaint about Kyle when you joined the group. So you almost don't need to be bringing this up, right? Like, I don't know. I thought that she got a little, I think Garcelle for once is getting a little flustered. And I never really thought of Garcelle as Sutton's mouthpiece or anything like that. But I am seeing that a lot this season, more so. I don't think Garcelle realizes she's doing it. She thinks she's being supportive, but she doesn't realize that this dynamic has been created over the years where she is always sort of like supporting Sutton and speaking for Sutton a lot of the time. And I think she's getting flustered with Bose because Bose is not here to be like most of the audience watching was siding with Sutton and Garcelle. Not all, but most of the audience. And so I think Garcelle's thrown off by someone coming in. Well, although there were Diana came in and she was interesting, actually. Well, no, why do I give a shit about Diana? Diana was what a weird casting choice that was. But yeah, I think because I'm seeing Garcelle kind of flustered. She's usually really in control and says the right things, but I think she's really thrown off by Bose, which I guess is good. I guess it's good. It's mixing things up. But her bringing this up and making her talk about the Kyle thing was like, oh, that wasn't great. So then Kyle and Bose start talking, which is funny. Bose starts it saying, I don't think she's a cold-hearted bitch. I'm just like, we haven't connected. And Kyle goes, I feel the complete opposite. That's so weird. I thought we had a great connection. And then again with this like trolling edit where they throw in a compilation that seems like they're saying, did they? Because it's just like Kyle going into Bose and saying, oh, those are from Dorit, mine are prettier. Or like just really basic interactions to try to prove like, really, Kyle, you thought these were good connections? They are not here for her right now. And so Kyle is basically saying, I feel like you singled me out because of what was going on with Dorit and because you got to know her first. And you have all these like preconceived ideas about me because of what Dorit said. And that is going to be a little offensive. Like saying that to someone, it's like, I'm not easily influenced by someone else. I think that I kind of agree with Kyle when in her after show, she says that Dorit was sort of doing the math and figuring like, okay, I don't really have a lot of allies on this current cast. So here's this new person. Granted, I think that it takes two to connect. So I don't think Bose like was brainwashed by Dorit or anything. I think Bose also had a connection with her, but I do think that there was an element of that. A lot, like Lisa Vanderpump used to do that too. A lot of the time, a cast member, if they're on the outs with the cast, will befriend the new person. That it's sort of a common across the board thing. Which it's like do the math, might as well. I don't want to say that Bose is one-sided, but it is possible. It is possible. I maybe just like that, and that's not the worst thing. Maybe that's not the worst thing at all. Kyle, you're a tough sell too, because she saw how weird you were about the PK text message thing. So like that's her impression of you as well. So it's not like Kyle did nothing, right? But okay, so Kyle brings up how she thought that Bose was very Judge Judy-esque with the phone conversation in the Viper room, block PK, that kind of thing. Well, Dorit, once again, with her comprehension problems, she gets confused and thinks that the point of their conversation is her. And then so she chimes in because Kyle says, I mean, you hadn't even met PK. And Dorit goes, why'd she need to meet him? I mean, why would she need to meet him? And Kyle's like, I'm talking to her right now about the situation. About my life? Well, I can chime in. So, but Kyle's like, okay, I'm going to try to keep it going with just Bose. So she's like, I thought I've shared so much about what's going on with me. But Dorit's like, I don't even know what's going on with you right now. Kyle's like, no. She's like, I'm separated from my husband. I'm married for 28 years. And then Dorit, do you need to scream? Do you need to scream? I actually was here for Garcelle going, she's not screaming. Then Dorit goes, oh. See, an example of when Dorit's funny is when she's not trying to be funny. But she's like, oh, okay. What? So Kyle, though, I don't know how she does it. I'm shocked that she has this control, but she realizes in this moment that she doesn't want this to spiral out of control. And so she goes, okay, if I lower my voice, what else do you need? What else do you need? Literally. But then Dorit, not realizing that this issue wasn't between Kyle and her, she just got confused. She goes, from the beach to Garcelle's house, did we start fresh and clean or are we going back Tell me now, because I need to know. Kyle's like, I so wanted to be like, pause. You realize that this was about Bose and Kyle, right? Kyle had said nothing about you. Not a thing. Just about the PK thing and how Bose handled it. You got confused. But Kyle's able to, like, she pulls herself in. She goes, I want to start fresh and clean. Okay, I thought we decided that on the beach at Garcelle's house. Yes, yes, yes. And I still consider it that. It feels like I'm being clawed at. By who? No one was, no one was really doing anything in this moment. But she's, this is Dorit is in peril right now. And I was shocked that Kyle could see that, And so Kyle is like, let's start clean. Let's build from scratch. I mean that. I love you. Let's do it. And then she's like, I want to go inside. Let's go inside. This hilarious, by the way. This was a whole party at Dorit's house, and they just leave all the guests out there. They're like, should we go after them? No, leave them alone. Erica's like, just let them go. I can't handle this anymore. And I was shocked. Dorit took us upstairs to see that house in total disarray. And it's like that really showed Kyle, like, oh, this is bad. Because this is like, no, Dorit is never this unkept. Dorit is OCD. When we first met her, she talked about how she had all these cleaning people, and Andy was all shady. He's like, are you that dirty? And she's like, no, I'm that clean. So her home is always like pristine. And so now it is just not. And I'm kind of obsessed. She's like, I don't even see it, Kyle. That's how I know I'm not myself. This moment, though, where they finally came together and talked and opened up in ways that only people who are going through something so similar can open up, was such a relief. I was like, oh my God, thank you. You're both going through the most similar situation right now and could be leaning on each other. This really, I thought this scene was special. Because Dorit's like, do you want to get back together? Kyle can't damn answer. She's like, I, right now I just want to take this time too, And then Dorit's like, I don't understand what you're supposed to get after 6 months, which is a great question. And Dorit and Kyle's like, well, I think maybe that was just an easy way to say, what do you say? I'm leaving for a year. I don't know. And so she's still like all over the place. And then in her confessional, she says that Mo is like, oh, it's way too soon to be thinking about divorce. Don't get ahead of ourselves. Meanwhile, this man is going to Greece and meeting up with a lady who is in a bikini and a little sheer cover-up. And he seems very familiar with her, greeting her with a kiss. Oh, ooh, so that's really gross of Mo, right? But maybe he's like, she was out and about with Morgan. But I'm really starting to wonder if, no, they were. There had to have been something between Morgan and Kyle. Maybe. I take it back. I don't know. But maybe that's why Mauricio's like, you humiliated me, so I'm trying to humiliate you type of thing. But then this part, Kyle says, do you like your independence? And Dorit says, I haven't had it yet. And Kyle says, we're in the exact same situation because we're both stagnant. And then Dorit says, I think he's 50 steps ahead of me and I need to catch up. And she says, either in her confessional or in the after show, that PK probably had already made himself comfortable with the idea of separating way before they decided to separate. And that's true. She's like, for me, it was a shock. But he clearly had already felt it, thought it, and wanted out. So he'd already mourned it. Yeah, I really like this scene. Now the after show. Sutton is really loving that Dorit called PK an alcoholic, and she's trying to joke about how she's all, PK, you can call me. I'll stand up for you. I don't know if you want to be aligning yourself with PK. I get that what Dorit did wasn't great, but I don't know if you want to be joking about that. She didn't say you couldn't text me. Okay, that's not the best move. I don't know. That was a little tacky. And Sutton's like, I think it was the meanest thing I've ever seen anybody do to anyone on this show. Girl, are you forgetting season 1, the limo ride with Kyle and Kim? I mean, that's the classic. So, what? Do you know how many times I want to be mean about Christian? Then in the segment on the after show about, Dorit's joke, Bose goes, you know what an alcoholic looks like. You're up close and personal. If you thought that someone was an alcoholic, you would say that. You are the very last person who she should get upset about making a joke like that. That's what? What? No, it's sort of like you don't know all the shit that she said about Sutton, do you? Because she was alluding to Sutton having a drinking problem. And because her husband is struggling with addiction, you would think she'd be a little bit more sensitive to it. So Bose is sort of like bending over backwards to justify that. Like that didn't connect. If anything, that kind of proves that's not the best move, But then Dorit still doesn't get it. Dorit's like, Garcelle has made comments, is there vodka in your coffee? But yet if I say something, it's just the end of the world. There's a double standard. I'm like, no, if you're friends with someone, if you're on good terms with someone, you can joke like that. Sutton doesn't have a sense of humor about herself generally, but with Garcelle, she does because she's in a safe space. With Jennifer Tilly, she does because they're in a safe space. And which you see, like Jennifer Tilly can call her mercurial. And it's just giggles and laughing. I'm sure Sutton was secretly more upset about that, but doesn't, you know what I mean? As where Dorit, you can't make jokes because you're not on good terms, and therefore it's going to sound like it's not a joke. And it's also not a joke. We got to stop pretending, Dorit. That's what's driving me crazy with Dorit is she keeps being like, it was a joke. Oh, it was just this innocent joke. But it wasn't. No, it wasn't. It was not a joke. You know there was meaning behind it. And you're looking for any opportunity to bring it up. So that's where, But Sutton is feeling herself this season. In the after show, she's got her big, long extensions in her hair, and she's doing a whole hair flip moment. She has this whole thing. She goes, first of all, it's 4th of July. Yes, ma'am. It's Friday afternoon. Have you heard of Friday? Have you heard of you're drinking a vodka with your Coca-Cola, girl? Oh, she went, whoa. I'm actually underplaying it. She is feeling herself. What season is this for Sutton? 5? No, 4? 5. I mean, it happens to the best of us. Best of us, as if I ever know. It happens to the best of us. We get full of ourselves. I mean, best of cast members, year after year after year doing these shows. So she is feeling herself. Okay. Erica really skating by this season. Really skating. This is 2 seasons in a row, basically. Really skating by. But anyways. All right. I think that wraps us up. I think I got it all. If I missed anything, let me know in the comments and I'll bring it up next week. All right. I love you guys so much. Mean it. See you next time. Bye. Thanks for tuning in to She's Speaking with Emily Hanks. This show is produced, hosted, and edited by me, Emily, and brought to you in partnership with Cloud 10 Media. If you are looking for bonus content, check out the Patreon. The link is in the description. To show some support, you can hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. Another free way to support the pod, please rate and/or review on whatever platform you listen. It's free, and it helps the algorithm or something. You can also head to buymeacoffee.com/shespeaks and buy me a coffee or 2. Make sure you're following me on all social medias. I am She's Speaking with Emily Hanks across all platforms: Threads, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. That's it. Thank you guys. See you soon.